Hello, travelers. This is just a quick little interjection I wanted to slide in here at the beginning of this finale episode. Just want to say thanks. The love and support I've received overall, like at least 95% of the, like 90 to 95% of the comments and engagement and conversation that's been happening has all been incredibly positive. So I wanted to just say, like, thanks. I'm glad that you're enjoying this journey, or perhaps you're like reliving the experience and the journey with me, through me, what have you. Community that's been forming and these conversations we've been having. I won't even consider them arguments, but just genuine conversations. But the people that I've had reach out to me with, I'm not going to, of course, name any names for the sake of privacy, but the people that have reached out that have, like thanked me either for the work or for me sharing my experience and my stories, and have come forward and shared their own experiences and their own stories. And I know it's a very difficult thing to do. That in itself is a very intimate act. I wanted to thank you for sharing your stories and experiences, and I'm glad that hopefully, as part of my goal is with a lot of this content, having these conversations and talking about these sensitive subjects and analyzing these characters and why people might think or behave the way they do, and sharing my experience to kind of empathically connect to a lot of the material. Hopefully I'm able to some extent, destigmatize the idea of having those conversations. I'm glad that I'm able to like provide entertainment and comfort, and I thank you for engaging and we're having that conversation and just supporting this channel as well. So it's been really appreciative. People have been very patient and loving in this whole process. We can go back and forth all day on the morality of these characters, but overall it's a show that I'm really enjoying. I'm glad that all of you are along for this ride. I hope that you will continue to watch as we delve into season 2 after this. But mostly I just wanted to say thank you for love and support. Thank you for also being open and vulnerable, and those that did reach out, like, really appreciate you saying what you said. And I'm glad, and those that continue to tell me that I'm wrong, that I'm a big stinky mean poo-poo head. How dare I ever throw a unkind word towards our Pookie Bear Lestat? Like, so be it. My journey is not yet over with this show. And you know what? I wouldn't even call them arguments. I would call it engagement. We were having conversations. And I tell you what, once I catch up, once I finish season 2, and then we're all in the same boat, minus the books, but once we're all in the same boat, then let's have those conversations, shall we? We'll see where old MovieMan, where his opinion lays when the smoke clears, and then we can have those appropriate conversations. But until then, like I said, I think like 90 to 95% of the people that are watching this along with me, or watching the show in general, kind of are all understand. And then it's a matter of when we eventually get to these narrative beats, and once we have more story, more context. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching, and let's hop into episode 7, the season 1 finale. The thing lay still. Ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome back, hello travelers, all that jazz. We have made it. We are at the season 1 finale for Interview with the Vampire. That Lestat, huh? That Lestat. I recorded these, the last 3 of the season in a batch. I don't know what the reactions are yet, per se. I do want to eventually do like a retrospective on the journey so far, and really talk about people's comments and have those conversations, maybe even in a live stream like I did with Succession. I think it's going to be messy either way you cut it. Last episode, so I'm just trying to gather my thoughts. There's a lot on my mind. Lestat, Louis, and Claudia all trying to live together in the same house. After Lestat, with the gifts and the begging and the pleading, has finally been let back in. Got to a point where Claudia was going to go off and be her own person, and Lestat literally was like, no, Louis is very fragile. I need you to stick around for him. If you leave again, I will destroy you. Just complete control and dominance, trying to exert that over this. The whole thing was like, can a leopard change his spots? We got into that conversation time and time again. I don't think Lestat is going to be changing anytime soon. Claudia sees the only way out is to kill him, and even bested him in chess, and once again provoked a angry emotional outburst. Even now, Louis is in the same headspace where it's like, we're going to kill him. Yeah, that's the plan. His verbiage there is concerning because he says we were going to kill him. That indicates past tense. I'm curious to see what the plan is, because like she said,
if you're going to beat Lestat, you have to become Lestat. You have to think like he does, and then 5 moves ahead of that.
It's like taking on like Alucard or Vlad Tepes Dracula. My one complaint about the show is I almost wish there were more timestamps throughout it, because they reveal in dialogue as the show progresses, kind of, it gives you an idea of time progression, and like, oh, 7 years had passed, 3 years had done this and that, and we're now in the no more roaring 20s for us. And like I think if I sat down and purposefully tried to outline all the years, I could figure out where they are. I think we're in the 30s, or what are we in, 1939 now? We're somewhere in the 30s, maybe about to approach the 40s. It's just hard for me to keep track. To be fair, I've been writing down dates here and there, but not an official timeline. As always, thank you for watching so much. All these episodes will be available over on Patreon with HD accompaniment of the actual episode itself, no transparency, and the full video, unedited, uncensored, uncut, warts and all. The whole Rashid in Malloy's dream still has me reeling. I don't see the Malloy and Louis situation ending well. This is definitely a rough show. The last 3 episodes of this show have had trigger warnings for domestic violence. Like there's been like suicide, sexual assault, domestic violence, abuse. Like this is some rough stuff.
This was supposed to be a no rough stuff type deal.
I am so curious to see how this is going to end. Or at least for the sake of this first season's arc, you know. New recordings. Oh wait, hang on. Did he make SOS? Oh shit. I don't know if those are dated or not. Sessions. Is that to say these are the sessions that we're currently doing, or did he make a backup copy? Because surely he would have made a backup copy of the original sessions. There's no way he would have just tossed those out. Maybe, unless he just hasn't organized it yet. Oh, I thought he SOS. Oh no, I think it's all part of this current ongoing set of sessions. Rashid, how were you in Malloy's dream?
So...
Oh,
Question. Can an
spooked.
immortal meet mortality?
Well, yeah, there's still ways to kill a vampire.
Technically, yes.
Yeah. For all that I've said, I will once again admit to this. Lestat de Lancourt is indeed he's a great character in terms of just a fascinating study. And from what it sounds like, we're going to be getting a ton more backstory for him in the next season. But he's an intriguing character. He's very well portrayed. There's a lot to like about Lestat. I think he's done some vile and despicable things in this season. But I will admit, like as a character, I like him as a character. Like he's, you know, I don't have a seething hatred for him. I just kind of, it's one of those things where it makes sense why he does what he does. And I don't like it. I don't like it. Like.
Several ways. Starvation. Deny the body the blood. Drink the blood of the dead. Consume the body with fire and it can house no spirit. Decapitation.
Jeez.
Theoretically, it can be done.
Bro enjoys it way too much.
He was stronger than us.
Yes.
Quicker than us. In possession of ancient powers that have been passed on to his progeny only in a diminished form.
You just gotta be smarter.
Add to the toxic air a new, ever-present paranoia. We were compelled to sleep in the same chamber together again. He would have it no other way.
Jeez. See? The verbiage there. He would have it no other way. As if he wasn't already controlling enough as it is. He has a control issue, and he has to always exert said control through one way or another, whether it's through subtle emotional manipulation, whether it's through brute force and physical will. He wants Louis to love him a very certain way, and he wants that love to be genuine. But it's not gonna get to that, because there's not a solid enough foundation for that relationship. So now, I mean, I'd be curious to see where his head's at. I think he's just so obsessed with Louis at this point, and he wants so desperately to not be alone, to not lose this, and he wants Louis's love and adoration and that intensity. He doesn't want it to be forced, but at the same time, he is forcing all the hands that he can to try to get the wind to blow in that direction, and it's just not quite getting there. For all the shit that I give Lestat, he is a very intelligent and clever man. He clearly can see the writing on the wall here. Even Louis just said he's going to be in full paranoia right now.
Enduring, with little pretense of getting along, locked together in hatred. He would have it no other way.
Locked together in hatred.
Our only opportunity to plot would be telepathically. And Claudia, for reasons she would not yet divulge, used our advantage sparingly. But make no mistake, Claudia was plotting. quiet in her dear blind.
Filling up the decanter.
I've had my fill.
I can't. Claudia's like, I'll
Louis
take
never
seconds.
honored the blood as he should. Blame the teacher, not the student.
Lestat de Leoncourt. 179 years in the savage garden.
It's 179.
148 years the blood drinker.
Oh,
The bringer of death.
Another approaches.
another vampire? Or another victim? Hello. Oh, jeez.
It's you. You misunderstand. I'm an admirer. I've come seeking help. They say that Satan lives in this house. I say angels.
Let these angels
Does anyone know
save
you
you.
came here?
Swear, I live alone.
Perfect.
Over on Ursuline. I'm your neighbor.
We'll send St. Peter our regards.
Oh,
Dear sirs and madam,
Cancer of the blood.
what is your secret? Can it be shared? I have the means to pay you. I'm dying. The medications aren't taken.
Enough! Letters become torches and pitchforks. We have to leave New Orleans.
oh, now he wants to go.
Clean up the mess and comes a coffin. We have plans to make.
And come to a coffin.
There were plans to make,
Yeah.
but the architect of those plans was
Claudia, right. Cold, calculating, on mission.
Man,
I interrupted.
there's something about Rashid.
Sorry, I got caught up in it. You were saying...
Well, he noticed that too. He noticed that he's off put by Rashid now. He keeps on eyeing him like suspiciously. I mean, so am I. I'm still trying to figure out what the dream meant. I don't know if he was in his dream because Malloy's subconscious inserted him into the dream and it changed, or if Rashid either is a vampire and was around back then too, which I think is the least likely. That's like the tinfoil hat theory. Or if Rashid was somehow able to interject himself in there, which could either be because he is a vampire or due to some other mystical reason. I'm thinking way outside the box now, but yeah, I've been saying that this house, they need to pack up and move out of Nolans. I've been saying that for a hot minute now. I'm surprised it's stuck around as long as they have, quite frankly.
You already have a plan, don't you?
I have a plan, and it's gonna take both
Not
of us.
even sitting together.
Maybe start by telling me the plan.
You share a coffin with him.
I don't talk in my sleep.
You share a heart with him.
I can cut it off.
No, Louis, you can't. Spend an hour alone with him and you're breathing and sync together. The plan only works if he's distracted. It'll only work if you give in. Give him all your heart and I'll do the rest.
To be fair, I could be overthinking them sitting up separately. It could just be because they're trying to do that for like public appearances and whatnot, not to arouse suspicion.
I'll lose myself in them.
That's
Leave
the
the
point.
little shelf inside there for me. I'll jump back in and pull you out before I kill him.
Yeah, I can do it.
So the plan is literally to give himself up to Lestat like 99% of the way and leave a 1% shelf for Claudia to pull him off the edge, like pull him back away from the precipice. Because the only way to like get Lestat's guard down is to be in the thralls of romance with Louis. I mean, it's a tricky plan. And then for Claudia to try to strike in a moment of vulnerability, and I feel like it won't work. We've only seen Lestat be bested once in a game of chess. It's supposed to be a metaphor for their, obviously their situation of survival and the game of wits, etc., etc. This is a little bit more drastic. This is life and death.
It's best to travel light, I think. Reduce our valuables to a few trunks each.
What about Greece?
Christmas.
Sun worshippers, hot springs, those who must be kept.
Of course, he'll get chummy.
If I know Italians, then we must follow the geese.
Those must be kept.
Those who must be kept.
Those who must be kept.
Nothing. No, we must follow the geese to Buenos Aires.
Always back to back.
Bach is beyond you.
Yes, the music of a master race is not made for these mongrel ears.
Your very
Obviously.
presence irritates me.
I came to make peace with you, Uncle Les.
Claude Debussy.
Sister, daughter, infant, death. You must think me an idiot.
Could you two please
Musique française pour les mères françaises. I have a present for you, an idea.
course. It must be a small gift, then. It's not fear, but wisdom that guides our departure. It's heroic that we've lasted as long as we have.
Kinda, yeah.
Shouldn't we leave? Shouldn't we mock the city like we mock our victims?
You have something in mind, obviously.
Settle our affairs, prepare to leave, but on our last night, throw a party.
No one's coming to a party thrown by freaks.
Precisely.
It's in the dying man's letter. They want to know our secret. They think we've got the fountain of youth in here.
You want to do a mass,
What needful idea.
like a mass
It was
murder?
just a thought.
They may be nasty little beasts, but they do have excellent tailoring.
Well-dressed tyrants. Where have I seen that before?
This idea of yours, what kind of a party did you imagine?
A ball.
Bro, I feel like this guy right now. They're they're talking in the movie theater. Get out of here.
A lavish, decadent ball.
To what end?
Yeah, for real. Talk somewhere else. Come on.
We invite the most beautiful, the most gluttonous. Seduce a choice few for a feast to remember.
Also, why are you talking about this out loud in public in a movie of all places in a movie theater? Yeah. That's not fair.
Buenos Aires as fast as we can.
Nah, they're all villains now. Jesus.
Keep pushing this party, he's gonna be on to you.
I want to.
So they're really inviting a whole, well, under the guise of, I mean, one final blowout, but are they going to try to like feast on them all? Or I guess that's what they're selling to Lestat. And then the idea is to like take him out in the middle of the party while his guard is down, question mark.
You're gonna try to kill him at this party?
There's no trying. Mardi Gras is early this year. Say it's ridiculous.
That's not how it works. They plan Mardi Gras balls a year out, sometimes years in advance.
Everyone in costume, everyone drinking. Chaos in the streets for an easy escape.
It's not worth the risk. Although, if we starved ourselves for a night or several nights prior, the hunger would be transcendent.
A meal fit for a king.
Oh boy. Anything that can make the experience all the more. Uh-oh.
You want the mister or the missus?
Oh! No one sees it, huh? My girl pounced.
For a king.
We're getting out, Tom.
Oh,
I
here we
know.
go.
But you just got here.
Oh, older, no mustache anymore.
They said lose the mustache or lose the election.
I don't see it as it's been 17 years since we've spoken. What makes you think I give a corn pepper
17 years
We'd
since
like
that
to
last
engage
meeting.
your services, Mr. Anderson.
Does he have the X on his
We
cheek?
want to throw a Mardi Gras ball.
Pay our respects to society before moving on.
The biggest question for me is like how, I mean, I guess that's the reason the whole town is like, surely they figured out some type of immortality in there. But you think one of the biggest hurdles would be if you, wherever you post up, if it's for longer than 5 or 10 years, right? People are going to see that you're not aging. Like literally everybody around you, you know, the skin's getting older and wrinkly, the hair's going gray. And they're the same age as they were when they arrived. That would arouse so much suspicion. People would be asking so many questions. I think it'd be past the point of people just thinking that there's like mysteries afoot. Like wouldn't the authorities like come knocking more so than they already are? I don't know. I'm like, how can that be sustainable? Unless you're 100% a reclusive shut-in. I feel like you'd have to be constantly moving just not to arouse the like the public eye.
Not in the party planning business. 2, it's January. You're a little bit behind the gun.
Well,
And 3, this is me and your two-tone daddies circa 1910.
yeah.
And can you tell me, little girl, what's wrong with this picture?
You
Same
didn't have
age.
that funny X on your face back then.
Yeah, no more mustache.
I mean, this is all good and sufficiently creepy. What do you want?
To be Raj.
King of Mardi Gras.
Him?
We know you're on the committee.
The Committee of Raj is a secret and sacred group of citizens
Well, there they are right there. Secret, huh?
bound by honor and tradition.
Get us a price, get back to us.
These things are planned years in advance. Louis, you're a native.
You've expanded your export business? Shipping coffins from port back to Europe?
Shipping and manufacturing. Double dip.
You lost one of your ships recently.
Would you like a new one?
Damn. It's a hell of a bribe.
Just one question before I attempt your no doubt humiliating and reputation destroying ask. Where do you meet the devil? And what are the terms of the agreement?
Huh. He does have the X on his face still. I just saw the scar there. I like how Loki kind of took it in stride. He was like, this don't make any sense. This is creepy as all get out. This is crazy, but that's an obscene amount of money. I can't say no to it. All right, we'll make this work, but this is gonna be it's your funeral. Little Tom over
The
here.
crew of Raj had been 3 years in planning their Mardi Gras theme.
Crew of
And they
Raj.
abandoned it within a week once the Parisian law firm of Roger and Albert had transatlantically wired their bribes. And the gossip that followed broke through the levees.
Historical party.
The Weird brothers and their doll-like sister were coming out. And the paper ticket to the event was a brick of gold for the insatiably curious.
It's like really
I've
Wonka.
chartered us a plane to Havana. 3 cabins on the SS Dundee from Havana to Rio, and 2 sleeper cars from Rio to La Arena del Plata. We'll sell what we no longer want to Max Simon, and we'll leave the rest to the auction house.
We'll need trunks that'll fit our coffins.
Make sure they have locks.
Locks that trigger from the inside.
This is a
It was a
very
masterful month of preparation.
intricate plan. Again, though, interesting how the public pretty much is just like, their whole thing is, that's weird. I'm not gonna touch that. But now it's like, okay, well, the Weird brothers, as they are known around these parts, they're coming out for a soiree, so everybody's gonna be coming out of just insatiable curiosity. But everybody knows that there's something going on with these people. I guess like nobody dare approach them over it. I don't know. I figured there would have been something more severe in terms of investigation, but so be it. They're just a couple of odd fellas, odd boys.
You aimed at the navel, seduced the seducer.
By the time we began our fasting, Lestat would have told you the entire endeavor had been his idea to begin with.
Yeah, see, he's in the sun right there.
Yeah. Yes.
No, see,
We'll go without the blood for 3 nights.
he can tell he's distracted. That's the thing. Maybe Rashid is a vampire who can't be hurt by the sun. No, I'm thinking too much into it. I think perhaps the most obvious answer, that face, perhaps the most obvious answer is just that, simply put, his subconscious, Rashid, bothers him do one way or another. I mean, there could be something more devious behind it all, but I know that from personal experience, whenever I dream, it's rarely about things that are on the front of my mind. Rather, it's a culmination of things that are stewing in the back of it, and it'll just bring up these subconscious worries or desires or anxieties. Anxieties usually for me. So they plan on having a party, and then feasting, in the chaos of it all, abscond away to Buenos Aires.
Preceding the ball.
At the ball, Louis and I will be following you, Lirina.
Maybe pluck 1 or 2 for ourselves. We'll ask them if they want to be young forever.
And if they say yes, we'll pin them with one of these.
Perfection.
We'll invite them to our home. We will lock the doors, shutter the windows, and
Lord.
Let the flesh instruct the mind.
See, if I were Lestat, I'd be
fire?
way too
Behead
suspicious.
the bastard.
She wouldn't tell me at the time, as I was slipping back into old feelings as she said I would. Poison the bait was the game. Make it appear as if the flesh was drunk, when in fact his victim's veins were swollen with a paralyzing brew of laudanum and arsenic. Claudia could taste her freedom, suffered the hunger with a cold joy matched only by the sun-hot ego of the vampire king.
Oh my God, Marie Antoinette. So the whole thing is to make sure whoever gets picked has the poison in their veins. So is it to literally have it so that both Lestat and Louis are like I heard arsenic, but perhaps it's the only way to ensure this happens safely is to paralyze them both and then only take out Lestat in that vulnerable moment. Is that the trick? like either paralyzed or poisoned. But I figure from Claudia's perspective, the only way that he'll buy in, Lestat, I mean, is if it's like the mutual. You have to be really secure, and it'd be too. I don't know. It's too suspicious to poison wine and be like a toast. You first, drink up. Nice. Oh no. Oh Lord. Oh. Marvelous. What a show. Like a peacock.
The ball that followed was an assault of the senses, an extravagant waste of money. And while Lestat's poor taste on the float drove away most every member of the Raj committee,
Nice.
there was plenty of bait to choose from.
Neat outfits, not 100% my cup of tea.
The veins and arteries of a few hundred hearts,
Aspects
ringing
of the
out like
outfits.
air raid sirens, drowning out the rhythm section of the hired band. I followed Claudia's lead as best I could, scouting the rooms for varietals of death.
Would you like to know the secret of immortality?
Well, of course, my dear. Who wouldn't?
How'd you pick them, though?
Good seeing you
Heart-
out of
heart
uniform,
rate?
Chief Bardee.
I think you've mistaken me.
Pardon me, I saw your mask in the bathroom.
I won't deny, won't confirm.
You are a man who appreciates power.
Tell me more, Mr. Duloc.
That's pretty clever. Then everybody can tell there's something going on, and if they're as spiritual as they are down there, especially when it comes to the hoodoo and the voodoo and all that, perhaps public opinion is like further than there's something strange going on. But these guys, maybe that wasn't just like speculation and rumors. Maybe people genuinely believe like, oh, they figured it out. They have immortality, which is why lavish party. And they're like, would you like to live forever? They're like, well, yeah, you clearly already figured it out, and I'm bought and sold.
We heard you'd been ill all these years.
Pardon me, madame. Is there a history between us?
The Women's Opera Society. Britannia Street? Well, it has been over a decade.
Of course, yes.
You don't appear ill.
Rumors. Envy.
Oh Lord.
Now, which one of you did I pull under the stairs during that dull lecture on Don Giovanni?
That would be me. And that was my late husband giving the lecture.
And did he
Oh,
talk
Lord.
himself to death?
I
Your
can't.
Majesty, I'd like to introduce you to the McPhail brothers, Matthew and his brother Mark.
And where are Luke and John? Is there rosemary in your garden?
Yeah,
Lord.
just below the porch. Our mother planted a whole bushel this past summer.
Oh, bushel.
Did she?
I can't with this guy. I swear.
The king finds himself suddenly famished.
Also smart to work up the hunger for a few days, because I feel like hunger is kind of like horniness in a certain way. Like hunger, thirst, horniness, being like touch deprived, something like that. It's when that hunger gets intense enough, you aren't necessarily thinking as straight, right? It's like, you know, if you're dying of thirst in the Sahara and someone offers you a bottle of water, like a basic ass bottle of water for like $50 or $100, any price will be worth it just to be able to have that thirst quenched. You're willing to, all of a sudden the market value has been driven up by supply and demand. But like same thing like with this, it's like, you know, you work somebody up into a tizzy and they won't be thinking straight, and they'll be trying to quell those very, even for a vampire, those very human urges. So this is a pretty smart
A
plan.
cascade of feelings came over me as I watched him sponge up the adoration. I wanted him dead.
And they're all feeding his
I
ego
wanted
too.
him all to myself. The fasting was a mistake. I wasn't thinking clearly.
See?
Something
And Claudia
was
knew.
off.
Claudia knew.
You miserable dogs.
What about a dog?
What dog?
You just said something about a dog.
I said no such thing.
There's another vampire here.
There's another one.
You're just hungry, Louis.
You heard what I said just now, didn't you? It's the dome. The architect that built this place made the U.S. Capitol. He made it so you could hear the sniping and whatnot across the way. Calls it a whispering gallery. Of course, how you heard me over the band? It's gotta be one of those tricks that you and your pederast satanic trio
got in your pocket?
Wonderful. Loose lips, sir.
A hell of a party!
We gonna kill him too?
You know the secret to immortality?
Oh yeah, we're picking him.
Never get married.
It's a good joke. But now that you have your boat,
Nice.
don't you want more?
That's our first high value target, isn't it?
King's hair has betrayed the king. Was that a witticism from the Duke of Gloom himself?
Duke of Gloom.
Hunger's got me lightheaded.
I'm anxious. Bro's been fasting, which means that cigarette's gonna hit harder too, wouldn't it? Vampires, humans, who knows?
I'm gonna miss this place. There's not an inch of this city that wasn't built from the fierce wilderness that surrounds it. Hurricanes, floods, fevers. The damp climate on every painted sign, every stone facade.
He genuinely loves this city.
High windows, through which enamel bits of civilization glitter.
I get it, for the purposes of which he
Silhouettes
seeks.
emerging, wandering out to catch a silent flash of lightning. The sucky warmth of summer rain, desperately alive and desperately fragile. The hunger has me too, it seems.
Boutonnieres have all been given out.
Wine's gone to my head,
Ready
I
when
do
you are.
declare. Shall we dance? One last dance.
A last dance before the feast.
Sure.
I'd like that.
Making me nervous though.
I'd like that very much.
I don't trust this
So much would be
situation.
written about that grim night in New Orleans. No mention of our last hour in the troves, as if the only crime unfit to print took place on that dance floor.
Let them gossip. Let them say what they must say. Like in most circumstances, I would call this a nice romantic moment, but I just all the romance that they have and in a way still do share, it's just like it just feels tainted.
It's the smell.
It just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Like I feel like I should be sad for what's potentially coming, but I don't know. I just feel like
It was my sole duty to distract Lestat. But in his mirrored eyes, the distraction reflected back onto me. I lost the thread to my plotting.
that's good. That's you're supposed
I
to
was
though,
his.
as it was planned. Oh, look at that. Mercy me. Nice.
May I finish this dance?
If he'll have you, sister.
We shouldn't do this.
Let them
Too
preen.
late.
Let them
I've done
prune.
it already.
When? Who?
Just now, one of the twins. He'll be dead on his feet in an hour. Wake up!
Oh, so she does. Oh, this was the pull then. I thought she needed him to also be feeding into the whole thing. I thought it was all part of it. Or I guess she needs him on his toes for this final portion. That does make things a little bit more nerve-wracking, a bit more suspenseful, I suppose.
In the 14th century, in the 3rd arrondissement of Paris,
Oh
on the
boy.
Rue de Montmorency, there lived
Coffins are
a
prepped.
seller of books, a 20-page manuscript written in a text he could not decipher. So he traveled to Spain to
Oh,
have
boy.
it translated.
Here we go.
And on his way, he met a Jewish converso who told him he was
Dude's
in possession
wasted.
of the Book of Abramelin.
We're all pretty drunk here, Lestat.
The bookseller dedicated the rest of his life to reproducing the alchemy within that book, and one sits before you all now.
That's what's in a punch bowl?
Amritra, Shasmai Kausa, the Philosopher's Stone,
Oh my
the
God.
elixir of life.
Oh, easy there, buddy.
I drank it as a young man,
The sap of Ismathul,
and I recently passed its powers to my friends here.
brought back from Shangri-La.
Claudia, born 1903. I drank the water in 1917. I'm 36 years old.
Louis de Poindulac, born in 1878. I drank of the water in 1910. I'm 61 years old now.
Lestat de Lioncourt, born 1760. I drank the waters in 1794. 180 years old.
I should be writing all this down, actually. I'm sorry. Go back a little bit. I don't know why, but I thought
This coming November.
I thought he was older. Oh.
The bucket's got a hole in it. It's empty.
Not for a long time.
Oh, there we go. Damn. Took her. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. Oh. This is a madhouse.
A madhouse!
Nice. Oh, the heralds of death. But at least one of them's poison.
Please. I don't want to die.
He takes too much joy in all this. Oh no. Solid plan.
No, you don't have to do this. No,
Damn. Poison went a little too fast. Oh, you kept one alive for the... No, but isn't this like sus?
Oh dear. You broke up the pair.
I know you wanted them both, but Louis couldn't resist.
I'm sorry, my love. I saved one of them for you.
No, see, that's way too suspicious. All right.
Did you?
Go ahead.
How generous of you.
This makes me way too nervous. That's not the smartest thing. Another vampire? Yeah, he heard someone's voice in there. Pretty sure it's another vampire.
Quite drunk, this one. Rosemary. And something else.
Yeah.
What is it, my love?
I think it's the gin.
I wasn't talking to you.
Laudanum.
Here we go. Yeah.
Arsenic.
I knew it wouldn't be too easy. It wouldn't be.
She was at the ball tonight. Like one of those girls on the telephone switchboard. Eavesdropping in on things that she shouldn't.
That's
Too late.
That's the scener, right? Isn't that the scener? He did turn her then?
Done it already.
When? Who?
Just now.
One of the twins.
He'll be dead on his feet in an hour.
Oh boy. Oh boy, you're gonna have it out. Oh no, so much for that.
She should never have been made, Louis. Look what you did to us.
Great.
She's corrupted everything. Antoinette will be much more agreeable to our life together.
Oh? How? Somebody else? Oh, take her out. Nice. Well, so much for that. So they were smarter than I thought they were being. But how? They just pin her to the floor. Stake through the heart?
You must think me an idiot.
I was
She was at the
hoping.
ball tonight.
Because that was way too obvious.
Not just the ball. Laudanum and arsenic?
You're gonna try to kill him at this party.
There's no trying. I have a plan, and it's gonna take both of us. Train's
Nice.
leaving in an hour. Get off that bench.
That explains so much. Damn.
You should have let that train go, Uncle Wes.
Yikes. Was that admiration I see?
He who called you him. Always the petty slights with you, Uncle Les.
There you go. Clever, clever. I didn't even see her give him the drink.
Goodbye.
That was good. Oh, nice.
Louis.
As it all crumbles around you.
Louis.
It's tragic, but
Louis.
damn.
We are joined by a cord. By a
Can't-
cord that you cannot see, but it is real. It is real.
This is sad, though.
I have loved you with all my soul. I'm happy it was you. You're with me. À la fin.
The blood poured out of him as it might never pour from a human being. All the blood he had filled himself with, he lay now on his back, his eyes staring wildly at the ceiling, the irises dancing from side to side.
Get his last words. Oh my god, ink it in his blood. Damn.
Mets-moi dans mon sourcil. Louis, Louis.
Put me in my coffin, Louis, Louis.
His irises rolled to the top of his head. The whites of his eyes went dim. This horror that had been Lestat, I stared helplessly at it. There was no point in lingering. The house on Rue Royale would.
Ah, that's a lot to take in. Got a little bit teared up there for a second. I'm happy it was you. It's tragic. There's genuine emotion and heart and caring there. I'm looking forward to seeing kind of Lestat's like origin, his upbringing, as it were, to hopefully like gain even more insight. I mean, again, I'm sure I'm looking at like a Handsome Jack situation, or like just a character who their backstory explains who and why and how and all of that, like why they are the person they are. But man, it's hard to ignore the monstrous deeds being performed here, no matter how charmingly they were performed, or no matter how clever or funny or romantic or anything like that. But still weighs in the heart. That's sad though. Because I mean, yeah, like they loved each other in their own way. It was definitely a f***ed up gothic romance, but like, how else could it have ended? It was reaching a fever pitch there, and just we'll discuss later.
Soon become the focus of all too many questions.
A lot of deaths. Big public figures. But you know what? Perhaps Nolan's is just a little bit cleaner because of it. Rip. Oh, damn. Yikes. That's a bad way to go. Oh, no. Hey, she knew
For the
what,
very last time
she
in
knew
New
what she was getting
Orleans,
into.
We followed our training and cleaned up the evidence of our most elaborate kill. Almost.
Damn. Put me in my
We
coffin,
need
Louis.
to burn him. I've killed so many. Just no one out.
Don't know if I can. So load him in. Like he's one of them. It was as if we'd expected Lestat to disappear in a puff of smoke or get sucked back into hell.
So what did you do with it?
We wrapped him in a carpet. We threw him in a trunk and left him out with the garbage.
Damn.
We got in our car and drove away, headed straight for the port.
The boat for Havana.
Another boat, a merchant vessel, newly christened and headed for Europe.
The boat you bought Anders in. A shipload of coffins for cargo.
Plenty of cover for a couple of stowaways, ready to begin the adventure of our lives.
Isn't that neat and tidy?
There was a ship. We did get on it.
Yeah, I read that, the first 50 pages. Not exactly the adventure of our lives feeling I'm feeling.
It was a traumatic escape.
Yeah, but she didn't say that explicitly. I mean, maybe in some of the pages that got torn out. Well, not torn out exactly, more like with a ruler, but there's a feeling that she hated your guts there for a while. Why is that?
I was haunted by my brother's death, by the abandonment of my sister, by the murder of Lestat.
Murder? What murder? It was an act of mercy. You didn't kill Lestat. You spared him out of some fucked up idea you had about love.
Love? I bled him like a pig and waited for the death rattle.
You were shot point blank by an alderman. You were dropped 1,000 feet and survived. You torched Antoinette just to make sure. Where does the trash go, Louis? You take the trash down to the street, and some guys show up in a truck, and they throw it in the back, and then they drive it out to the middle of nowhere, right? No. They take the trash to the dump. And having lived 2 blocks away from the dump just outside of Fishkill, New York, with my first wife, I can state with authority what else you'll find there. Rats. Big rats, the size of Kevin Durant's sneakers. Enough blood in them to bring back the dead, especially one in a trunk with locks on the inside.
Oh my God.
You knew it, Louis. You had to. The biggest rat eater of them all.
This session is over.
Is that right? Well, because he figured it out?
How many days in the Islamic year? How many names are there for Allah?
355 and 99.
Why does a 200-pound bouncer pass out after he sucks him off? And you, a wet t-shirt away from 130, doesn't even blink.
I couldn't burn him.
But Claudia could.
No, she couldn't.
She stuck a
Are you gonna tell me Rashid ain't on?
in his neck. She recorded his last words in his own blood. The girl did not have a problem tossing him on the grill, okay?
The sun's coming up.
No.
We have to burn him.
No.
It's the only way we'll know.
No! I said no!
Was it raining, Louis?
She couldn't burn him.
You cursed her into the darkness. You chose Lestat over her time and time again. You don't need a memoir, Louis. You need 100 sessions of EMDR. You know the they put soldiers through when they see one of their platoon buddies get blown up in front of them?
You've only heard half the story.
Stop.
144 years of life, and you're still Louis the pimp, paying a whore to sit in a room and talk with you. 'Cause why? You got some story you want to tell the whole world about yourself?
When you hear it, you'll be ashamed. Ashamed of what you say to him now.
Please stop, Rashid.
$10 million. That's my whore number. Career's been over for years. Legacy? That's for board members and assholes and loafers. My daughters aren't even speaking to me anymore.
I see the
so at
white
least I can leave them
fingernails.
some
That's
cash.
why he was wearing the
But
gloves.
An honest reckoning? No. This is the same that happened in San Francisco.
Not exactly.
How's it any different, Louis?
This time I won't save your life. Louis can sometimes act out. I protect him from himself, always have. Stopped him that night in San Francisco.
He was there.
You were there.
You don't remember, do you?
No, I don't remember.
Is that you said about memory? A monster, was it?
But I saw you standing in the sun.
As we age, the sun loses its power over us.
What?
What's a mediocre start to a 514-year-old vampire?
How long have you been around for, my dude? Oh my God.
Daniel Malloy, I'd like you to meet the vampire Armand. The love of my life.
Okay. Okay. So I called it part 1. Damn. That's really good. Wait, there's so much to unpack with all this. For one,
I fucking knew it!
I knew it. Oh my God. I was reading between the lines there. The sun is the only thing that threw me off. Oh, what bullshit. rules are these? Oh, as we grow older, the sun loses its potency. Like, okay, all right, playing fast and loose with this, huh? I knew it. I knew there was something, and I should have known what the gloves he was wearing. But how did he's disguised his pupils, like the irises too? And even then, oh my god, there's so much. Oh, there's so much to this. Again, all my reactions, all my like my emotional outbursts and responses, and the loathing that I've carried for Lestat, all these different I'm a cauldron of emotions right now. But even right there, like, Malloy is once again calling his whole story into question and being like, look, how much of this is just, you know, cockamamie story that you're feeding me? And then you even see a little bit where it's like he's the one that got physical with Claudia, and he was sobbing over Lestat's corpse. How, oh my god, it calls everything into question. How much of all this story that's been told? Well, you got to believe the journals and what's written, like as far as what's written in the journals, but it's very clear that there were some pages that were either torn out, some that were carefully extracted, that leave out very key elements of the story. And so there's a lot of context missing, and Malloy's picking up on that. So how much of what we've seen is not entirely accurate? It paints Louis in a more favorable light than it does Lestat. And now we have this vampire who at some point he found, who knows how old Rashid is, like centuries perhaps. And that's the actual love of it, that's the current love of his life. So he moved on from Lestat, I guess. Ah, that's really good. I love to hear the director's notes. And Lestat's not dead.
We were promised the death of Lestat, and so we must kill Lestat. Slowly, Claudia makes a pitch, and she has to take the lead because Louis is too close to Lestat, and at this point, too weak. She does what any good plotter does. She makes it ultimately turn out to make Lestat think that it's his idea. Get Lestat at his most egotistical and his most blinded. Yes, maybe then I will buy this idea that let's go out with a bang. Let's not be these hiding, shrieking vampires. Let's leave a room full of bodies and get on out on the last train. But Louis, you've got to open your heart back up to him. That is the thing that will blind Lestat more than anything.
Only partially. What a plan.
It is the swooning height of the uber romanticism of ours, is this dance in front of everybody and this kiss. Lestat cannot help himself. He's so in love with Louis. But in the middle of the party, we are picking our victims out. We're gonna have the great feast of our life, so it can't just be one victim. It's gotta be like one of these horrible tasting menus where we're just gonna gather up all these people that know we have the fountain of youth and come back to our after party. There they are, but they are there only as the grand plan. Most of them are sort of the ugly ones that we have seen throughout. But then look at the twins, right? We all know the books about, go to the twins, go to the twins.
I have not read the books. I know nothing about the twins.
And then there's this mysterious man in the tuxedo. What is that all about? Very strange little detail there. And, you know, you guys are all savvy. You know, something's not right here. Can't be that easy.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had that reversal. I've always known Antoinette was out there. If you played everybody's sort of arcs, no one quite knew everything. Claudia knew that eventually if we put Tom Anderson in there, make him drink of poisoned blood, he would go after Tom Anderson. They don't quite know totally how to kill a vampire, but they think that'll do the job. Back to Dubai, Malloy starts asking questions, and some very probing questions. What actually did happen that night? It's very, very simple. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to clean up your dead. You're supposed to put the vampire in the incinerator. Why didn't you do it? And I think Louis is remembering that for the first time in a long time. It forces the vampire Armand to jump in. And it's not, I think, just to protect Louis from maybe going ape and killing Malloy. I think there is a story that has been told to Louis, that Louis has told to himself, that maybe Armand has told to him too. For those of you who haven't read the book, this is a major player out there, folks. This is the leader of the coven of vampires.
Is that
one
right?
Who is very, very powerful. So yeah, that last line, we were sort of looking for like the ending to The Graduate, this sort of very unsettling, wait, what?
For those of you that haven't yet, that's me then. I know nothing of this Armand, but I don't like him. Holier than thou attitude.
I think it really sets us up for a very provocative season 2.
Damn. Oh man, it calls so much into question. Calls so much into question. But I would like to read these books. Similar to my movie and TV list, I have a book list that's like a mile long, and I take even more time getting through the books that I want to get through. I very much would love to. I love the samplings I've had of Anne Rice's prose and narrative. I love what like little excerpts that I've gotten, and I feel like they'd be fantastic books to read through. But yeah, I do not know who any of these people are. That whole revelation makes a whole lot of sense, and I called it episodes ago. I was like, I think Rashid's a vampire, guys. Like, just the sun was the only thing that was throwing me for a loop. He said, I stopped you all those years ago. So Rashid literally, he was there in person. I guess maybe if he has those powers though, and Malloy never recalled him in the dream until then, I mean, I'd be curious to see how deep his influence goes for sure. Clever to pose as a servant. Yeah, that's very clever. I like that. Hidden under our nose. Also, I did discover somebody mentioned that there was Interview with the Vampire uncut available on Amazon, but when you pull up the episodes, the thumbnails sometimes give away scenes from the episodes, so I don't want to reveal too much. So I'm just gonna stick with what I'm doing right now, but we'll be popping over to season 2 eventually. So I'm guessing, are we gonna go back and forth between the present and the past? I wonder. And there are how many episodes now? 8. So 8 instead of 7. Okay, now I'm in. I loved that. Yeah, no, I love that. Great first season. Great little cliffhanger there. I'm curious to see how far it goes. And with season 3 currently in production as well. So, all right, I'm halfway there. I'm almost caught up on the same journey as everybody else is. But yeah, man, what a journey, what a ride. I stand by my statements and my reactions and the journey that I've been on so far. But what's kind of like upsetting about this is that I don't know how accurate this story has been. I'm so much of what I've been told, like Malloy, I feel like an old pissed off man who's like, like, come on, you want to tell me a story, but how can I trust what I'm being told here? It's being told from a very biased perspective. And even then, what the executive producer was saying is the whole thing about, oh, well, it's a story that Louis has been telling himself, but now even Armand, it's a story that Armand's been telling him that he's been. I have so many questions, and I have no other context than the show so far. I'd be very curious to watch the movie, and I definitely want to read the books. It's like Game of Thrones. Like, I own the box set for Game of Thrones, and I've never actually. I want to read the books, but I also kind of want to wait till George finishes it, so I don't think I'm ever going to read the books. Anyway, oh boy, that was season 1 of Interview with the Vampire. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. If you want to watch the full, uncut, uncensored, with HD video accompaniment and all that, it's going to be available on Patreon, of course, if you want to sub over there for a minimal fee, cheaper than YouTube Premium if you don't have YouTube Premium, which I don't think a lot of people do. I do, only because I use YouTube like for 90% of my day every day, so it makes sense. On here, YouTube, if you're watching this, that's also more than enough. They're free to watch online. That helps me with the numbers. Subscribe for more, yada yada, you know the drill. Instagram, you can find me on there, MovieMan101 Pro. Twitch.tv/MovieMan101 for whenever I do go live and stream games. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters I have so far with the basic Hello Travelers tier, and a special thank you, I'll throw them up here as well, to all the Patreon supporters that are at the I'm something of a movie man myself tier, where I also do full movie reactions and commentaries. I take user suggestions, so if there's a movie you want me to watch and you're sub to that tier, submit the request, I'll watch it, we'll talk about it, we'll react to it. Hopefully it won't be too long of an endeavor. At the end of season 1, I still have the same opinions that I do about Lestat, but Armand raised a very valid point there, and you know what, I'm open to the rest of the story. Armand said, and I quote, "You've only heard half the story." And even that half, I don't know how I feel about it. Very much am looking forward to a second half of the story. I want more information. I want to find out what the truth of the matter is, what actually is going to happen. I'm in for this story. I love the aesthetic. I love the characters, the visuals, the direction, the experience. It's all been fantastic so far. But I'm just like, okay, so where do we go from here? And this season came out, oh hell, earlier this year. Oh my god, and it only just ended in June. This was very recent. Okay, so we'll be watching all this next. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. I appreciate the love, the support. Like I said, I recorded these last 3 episodes all in one go, so I have no idea what the reception's going to be like. I think I'm going to be saying thank you for the support and coming along with me reliving this journey. On the other half of that, I could be in a world of trouble or getting into a bunch of arguments. Stay tuned for season 2, which I will be doing, I promise. Season 2 of Interview with the Vampire. And goodbye, travelers.